Hello and welcome to weekly live chat session. Welcome Jabir Siraj, God is Love YouTube channel, Bash Mohandis Anur, Abu Bakr, Mohad Tazabi, Rihanna, Sami, uh, Teveldo Medan Abera, NMNMTE, Z. Michael, Mibrate Birhu, Zariat, Leol Solomon, John Wander, Amir Asale, Birhan Migze, Mizgabe, Peace for All, Stop Amhara Genocide, Haniel Kamano, Bona Gimbi, Dan Izana, Daut Masfin, Winnie Poff, Darius Mehritia, Maximud Ibrahim, Liz Elias. Thank you for joining all of you. I am pronouncing your names. I am because I want to remember your names as well. Most of people here are familiar for me, but I am trying to remember as well because every week you join the live chat session and we discuss Winnie Pef. Dan Izana, Zire Abraha, Chapier Liner, Sabah Kasa, Hagar Fekker, TSN MN Adam Wonde. TSN is asking, where are you from? I am from Pakistan. Buna Gimbi, Peace for All. Peace for All is saying you're doing a great job with what you got. Yes, with whatever I have and with whatever limited resources I have and with whatever propaganda that I am faced with. The most important thing is how to dig out facts because there is plenty of propaganda on each and every news source. Manipulation is underway from both sides, so it's not easy to get to the truth. That is why sometimes I do make mistakes, but the mistakes, they don't have any prejudice. I don't make mistakes out of supporting anyone, but I'm bound to make mistakes because you know that telephone lines are not working, internet is down. So in such a situation, it's not easy to cover a war. It's difficult, but majority of you have faith in me. That faith keeps me going. Some of you do get sometimes mad at me that you are not reporting correctly, but all mistakes, whatever I made, they're not intentional. Someone is asking about Afghanistan. I did 2 videos on that, but there are some restrictions. YouTube bans discussion on terrorist organizations. Taliban is banned, viewers, according to US laws. That is why there are some restrictions. But I did 2 videos on that. Peace for all. I came to appreciate you. Thank you, Peace for all. Amira Sal is asking, is it true UN made it to Mekelle airport and did Ethiopia open the airspace? I don't know. Whatever I know is that Ethiopian government is not allowing any direct flights towards Mekelle. Ethiopian government has announced that all flights must land at Addis Ababa airport where aid supplies are thoroughly checked. After that, flights are allowed to proceed. Even flights are not landing in Tigray. I haven't had. An hour ago, what I heard was that flights were landing at Bole Airport, Addis Ababa. Their humanitarian supplies were being checked. Then they were being sent by road to Mekelle through Afar region. I haven't heard of direct flights landing at Mekelle so far. But if it has happened, it's a very good sign because WFP, World Food Programme, has clearly said that speed of delivery of humanitarian aid must be stepped up, otherwise thousands could die in coming days. Please viewers, whenever you talk about military gains and losses, you ask questions about which side is in control of Korum, Elamata or Sikota, or don't forget people who are in need of humanitarian aid. Eritrean refugees in Tigray, Tigrayans and Amharas as well, they have been displaced from some areas. We must also talk about those civilians who are suffering. They are not part of this war. They did not start this war. They are suffering, viewers. So it's our responsibility, whatever we can do, at least we should condemn if any atrocities happen against them. Lost Shadow is asking about GERD. Well, Egypt and Sudan, especially Egypt, have suffered a blow. People might not agree with me, but Egypt was talking big before the start of second filling. It was threatening Ethiopia. Sudan was playing the second fiddle, but Ethiopian government did not back out, and Egypt had to back out. Egypt has suffered a diplomatic setback, I think, and Ethiopian government has won a diplomatic victory, a moral victory as well. Someone is Jawan Guru, Djibouti Addis train line should be blocked by TDF. Jawan Guru, this train railway line, Djibouti Addis, is far away from where conflict is underway, where fighting is underway. Today we heard about fighting in Awareda, which is close to western Tigray, Raya zone, and the Wareda is in a far zone, a far region. But Djibouti Addis Ababa railway line is far from it. So I don't think that TDF fighters are in a position to cut off the railway line. They are far away from it. They are in Raya. They are trying to control adjacent areas to the east, west, and south of Raya. They are nowhere close to this Djibouti Addis Ababa railway line. Someone is asking about Badme front. No update from Badme, viewers. Though almost 4 days ago, some TDF aligned news sources were saying that Badme had been taken by TDF. I did a video on that. I informed you that fighting was underway. TDF had not taken control of Badme. So no confirmation that Badme has been taken by TDF. There has been very heavy military presence of Eritrean forces in Badme. Badme has not been taken by TDF according to my sources, viewers. Go at home, sir, stick the truth. Stick with the truth. Thank you, Uzil Gunner. Mami, hello. Do you think ENDF and its allies will capture Mekelle again? No, I don't think so. I don't think so that ENDF will launch offensive on Mekelle, because you see that Ethiopian National Defense Forces are calling upon regional forces to join them. It means ENDF have been weakened. It's very obvious that ENDF are in need of support. That is why regional forces from Oromia, from Sidama have joined them. Ethiopian National Defense Forces are fighting in Western Tigray. They are in Southern Tigray as well. I don't think they will start a new offensive on Mekelle. They'll be outstretched. They can launch an offensive on Mekelle if Eritrean forces join them. And Eritrean forces so far are on border areas. Yes, they're in control of Badme, but they are not in the mood to enter Tigray once again. Without the support of Eritrean forces, Ethiopian National Defense Forces will not launch an offensive on Mekelle. It's my view. And if had Eritrean forces not supported ENDF when this war started, it would have been very difficult for ENDF to capture Mekelle back then in November. Eritrean forces played a key role, viewers. Now Eritreans are on their soil in disputed areas as well. They're not going to enter Tigray, I think, in coming days. That is why no likelihood of ENDF launching an offensive on Mekelle. Someone is asking about drones, UAE's drones. Well, UAE has backed out. UAE provided drones in the first phase of this war, as is being claimed by TPLF leaders. But after that, UAE backed down. UAE vacated Assab military base in Eritrea. Then we heard of Turkish drones, but Turkey has denied selling drones to Ethiopian government. We haven't seen the drones in use as well in the past few weeks. Someone is asking about what do you think about Amhara political wiseness? Well, Amharas have succeeded in obtaining support of all regions. You see that forces from Oromia, from Sidama, from SNNPR have joined. Somali region has also announced, Gambela has announced, Deredewa has announced. So Amhara region has obtained the support of all regional forces against Tigray Defense Forces. Whether they are able to repel TDF offensive or not, but they have managed to secure the support of all regions. They are playing their cards well, Amhara leaders. Mark Lee saying, let me update about Somali regional forces. Okay, Mark, what's the update? Someone is asking about how many TDF soldiers are there. Because TDF soldiers are not just soldiers, they are singers, they are writers, they are politicians. You must have seen pictures of key social figures, activists joining TDF. There is no shortage of manpower for TDF. Now, same is happening in Amhara state as well. Because in Amhara state, there is very heavy and huge mobilization. People are joining there as well. It's not that Amharas are not going to put up any fight. No. We are seeing very large scale mobilization in Amhara region. People from all walks of life are joining their militias. Someone is asking about Tigray's children, are children fighting for TDF? I have heard so much about children fighting for Tigray Defense Forces. Since it's a very sensitive subject, YouTube does not like such topics under discussion, especially monetized videos. That is, but I did not discuss this subject. That child soldiers are being launched by TDF. Well, Africa is notorious for child soldiers. We know that. We have seen several previous wars that child soldiers are used in wars. But viewers, if this war goes on, you will see everyone doing everything. Both the parties will arm everyone, every section of life. They'll arm women, they'll arm elderly, they'll arm children. It will happen. Amhara region's vice president has confirmed that they are arming locals, especially in Sikota in Abergele. Tigray is also arming locals. In fact, locals joining Tigray Defense Forces. So everyone is arming everyone. In fact, we heard from Desalegn, who is Amhara leader, elected a few days ago. He called upon Amharas that arm yourself with weapons. If there are no weapons, take knives, take sticks, but be ready to fight. This is the atmosphere on both sides. So if children are being used, it won't be a surprise. Beatles saying I'm late. You're not late, Beatles. Minghan, has there been separation movements in the Somali region? I couldn't get your question. What about drones? I answered this question. Yes, someone is asking about Sudan. What is the role of Sudan? Is Sudan backing TPLF? Uh, Ethiopian government is saying that Sudan is backing TPLF, that Egypt is backing TPLF, that yesterday Ridwan Hussein, State Minister of Ethiopia, issued a very strong statement because he directly blamed humanitarian agencies. He said they are arming TPLF, they're smuggling weapons, and we're going to blacklist them in coming days. So now Ethiopian government is accusing aid agencies of arming TPLF, and they're saying that aid agencies are operating through Sudan. Since there is presence of thousands of refugees in Sudan, there is presence of aid agencies, and from there, according to the Ethiopian government, weapons are being supplied to Tigray. But viewers, a few days ago, first convoy of humanitarian aid arrived in Mekelle from afar. First convoy in 2 weeks. This convoy was checked at 10 points. Mekelle and all Tigray, it's under siege. Tigray under siege. Humanitarian aid convoys being checked 10 times at 10 points during their travel from Samira to Mekelle. How can Sudan supply weapons to TPLF in such a situation? Sudan Ethiopia border under the control of Eritrean forces, Amhara forces, ENDF. From where are Sudanese weapons coming into Tigray? So that's the important question. Who is in control of Alamata? Yes, important question. Who is in control of Alamata and Koram? That is the title of this live chat session. What are the two sides saying? Any independent source which has reported about that? Firstly, viewers, one reporter from Amhara side and one reporter from Tigray side have reported conflicting accounts of who is in control of Alamata. Amhara news sources are quoting Getachew, the name of the reporter, who is claiming that Alamata is being controlled by Amhara forces. Tigray Media House took a reporter from Alamata. He is claiming Alamata is being controlled by TDF. Then Professor Kindaya of Tigray, he also claimed a few hours ago that Alamata is being controlled by TDF. Then viewers, mayor of Alamata, he is claiming that Amhara forces are in control of Alamata. No independent news source have managed to reach Alamata so far after TDF took control of Alamata and after Amhara forces claimed that they had retaken Alamata. Signals not working, mobile phones not working, internet down. But according to what I have learned so far by talking to both sides, by doing my research, Tigray Defense Forces have not been entirely pushed out of Raya. In fact, when TDF launched offensive on Raya, they advanced from Alamata in southern and in eastern directions towards, when they advanced from Koram to Alamata, then they moved from Alamata in eastern direction and towards southern direction as well. They captured some areas towards Kobo and towards Abergele as well. It was a way of creating a buffer zone. Some sources say that Tigray Defense Forces are still in control of some parts of Amhara region. And these sources are Amhara news sources. I won't disclose their names, but they are saying that TDF are in control of some areas in Abergele, and Amhara forces, ENDF, are trying to push them out of these areas. So that is why I think that Tigray Defense Forces have not been pushed out of Raya zone. They have their presence. How much are they in control of Raya? That can be questioned. But we cannot say that TDF have been pushed out of Raya. It was a considerable advance for Tigray Defense Forces to be able to capture Korom and Alamata. It was a considerable advance. The next question is, can they keep on holding these towns, Korom and Alamata? So in coming days, things are going to be clear. So far, they have managed to keep their presence in Raya. They have not been pushed out of Raya. And today's statement by Afar viewers. Afar is claiming that TDF fighters have attacked Afar, Avoreda, which is to the west of Alamata, if you go from Koram towards Alamata. If Tigray Defense Forces have attacked Avoreda, which is to the west of Alamata, it means they have their presence in the vicinity of Alamata, in Alamata too as well. That is why I don't think that Tigray Defense Forces have been pushed out of Alamata and Koram completely. Will Egypt go to war? No, it won't. No likelihood of Egypt going to war against Ethiopia now. Someone is saying you need chat moderators, lots of spam. Yes, I don't know how to handle it. I am not the one who is skilled in these technical things, honestly. Is TDF capable of retaking Western Tigray? Well, no one could have imagined a month ago that TDF would be able to capture Mekelle. And after the fall of Mekelle, no one was expecting that TDF would take Alamata, Koram so soon. But they did. Anything can happen. Zimba is thanking me. Thank you, Zimba. Ethiopia wins at the end. Amman is saying, no, Amman, I don't agree with you. Ethiopia is losing. The foundations of this country have been shattered. This war has weakened Ethiopia. And if this war goes on, it will keep on hitting foundations of this nation. A multi-ethnic nation which needs ethnic harmony is seeing forces happily going to war against a region. And the region, Tigray, should also do some self-reflection. Why is that all the regions are against Tigray? Why are they sending their forces to Tigray? Why? TPLF was in power. It remained in power for more than 2 decades. It means that TPLF, I would say, TPLF must do some self-reflection. They made mistakes. They need self-introspection. They need to review their way of governing, their way of how they governed Ethiopia. And just a few days ago, after Ethiopian government announced unilateral ceasefire, after that we saw TPLF laying out some conditions. We did not see TPLF mentioning anything about other states in its demands. TPLF could have included as a demand the release of Oromo prisoners like Jawar Mohammed, Bakle Garba, Dawood Ibsa. It was a good opportunity for TPLF to join hands with Oromos. But TPLF did not mention anything about any state, any region, when it laid out its conditions for the ceasefire in Tigray. Perhaps that's why we're not hearing anything from OLA. OLA has not issued any statement so far for the deployment of Oromia forces to Tigray. It's the time for ethnic groups in Ethiopia to join hands. This war, as you're saying that Ethiopia is winning. No, Ethiopia is not winning. Ethiopia is becoming weak because your country has its basis on harmony between ethnic groups. If this harmony is disturbed, there is no future of this country. And that is why this war must come to an end as soon as possible. It would be good for Ethiopia. Now the speed of questions is picking up. It's becoming a bit difficult to read these questions. Please ask questions. Some of you are commenting, and just ask once. I'll be able to read easily. If you keep on sending same question again and again, it becomes difficult for me to read the question. Is TDF going to fight in other regions? Can it be as effective? Well, I have given my analysis on that TDF does not want to take control of Amhara region or Afar region. It's my analysis. TDF only wants a sort of buffer zone between southern Tigray and the areas being controlled by Afar and Amhara states. TDF might capture some areas towards Kobo, towards Sikota, towards Afar, just to keep front lines away from Elamata and Koram. Main purpose of TDF entering Afar state and Amhara state is to keep front lines away from Elamata and Koram. If TDF has only Elamata under its control, it means that front line would be in Elamata. And it would be a bit difficult for TDF to remain in control of Elamata. TDF is spreading towards Amhara, towards Afar, to keep front lines away from main cities like Elamata and Koram. It does not mean that TDF wants to capture entire Amhara region or entire Afar region. Though some analysts are saying that TDF is looking for a corridor with Djibouti. I don't think it's the strategy of TDF in short term. If TDF could not capture western Tigray, then we might see TDF moving towards Djibouti. Otherwise, just southern Tigray, some areas around southern Tigray, then western Tigray. Why is OLA not keep the ENDF busy in Oromia? They are claiming that they have stepped up their attacks, OLA. They have issued some statements. But honestly, we haven't seen OLA giving tough time to Ethiopian National Defense Forces. ENDF have suffered losses in Tigray. We have seen Oromia forces arriving in Amhara. But we haven't seen OLA bouncing back. They have stepped up their attacks, but still they have not projected themselves as a very influential group in Oromia. OLA has emerged as a small group. It's not capable of carrying out any large-scale operations in Oromia. Herman Cohen's comments about TDF, about TPLF, I think I have said the same thing a few minutes ago. Yes, Herman Cohen is blaming TPLF. At the same time, he's blaming Ethiopian government as well. I think there must be some sort of a holistic approach, a comprehensive approach on all sides to resolve Ethiopian problems. All are to blame. TPLF, Abiy Ahmed, Amhara region, all have made mistakes. But it's time for them to realize that they must do some sort of, they must review their strategies. Otherwise, they are just they are moving down a collision course, and Ethiopia is getting weakened as a whole. Leaders are the ones who need to realize that it's a crucial time for Ethiopia, for the survival of Ethiopia. But so far, we are not seeing that better sense is prevailing. Someone is saying, how is TPLF to blame? Why is everyone against TPLF? Why is that? Tell me one thing. Why is every state against TPLF? Why is, have you heard any African country raising its voice for TPLF? Have you heard any neighbor voicing its support for TPLF? TPLF must do self-reflection. Can these less experienced regional forces win against TDF? It would be difficult. First and foremost thing is how to coordinate. I mean, they are forces from different regions. How will they operate under one central command? It's very difficult that forces from Oromia, from Sidama, from Amhara, from Afar, they're coming. But will they be able to work in a harmonious way under one command or not? It's very difficult. That is why. Whether they are trained or not, whether they are skilled or not, but their cohesion, their harmony under one command, it will be tested. That is why TDF have an advantage, that they have this momentum, they have morale, they have method, they have best generals leading them, they're on their home ground, they know the areas very well, so they have definitely advantage. Someone is saying that is how African politics works. They always supported the winners. So that is what I'm saying. It should change. It has been happening in the past. It should change. The states which are supporting Ethiopian federal government, they must change their strategy. They must call for mediation. They must say, we are ready to mediate between you and between you and TDF. Sidama, Oromia, SNNPR should work as mediators, not as supporters of ENDF or as supporters of TDF. The states other than Amhara and Tigray should be mediators, should not be party to this conflict. Tigray has a long history, that is why they hate us. That's your opinion. Is TDF militarily more equipped than the regional forces? It's not a matter of military equipment. As I said earlier, TDF are one unit now. They have been tested in the battlefield, and they have proven themselves on their home soil. They do have heavy weapons now. Now they have this method which they need. momentum, 3 M's, as I said in one video: method, morale, momentum. Compare their rivals. Do they have method? Problems, because they are not under one command. Do they have morale? No, not as high as Tigrayans. We can say about Amharas, they are charged, but you won't see Oromias charged or Sidamas charged in this war. Do they have momentum? No. They're just joining this war. So TDF does have advantage. Viewers, 36 minutes have passed. I think we should now wrap up this live session. Thank you for joining. Thank you, all of you. It's been a very busy week. We reported about updates from southern Tigray, from Koram, Elamata. Several things are happening. So it's a bit difficult sometimes to verify things completely. I try my best to verify before sharing things with you. Please don't doubt my intentions. I have no agenda. I just want to be in touch with you. I want to talk to you. I want to tell you what's happening on ground. And rest assured, I'm not being funded by TPLF or by Amharas. Under one video, I see people accusing me of being funded by Abiy Ahmed. Under the other, I am being funded by TPLF, but no one is paying me. I'm just getting verbal abuses from you people. But majority of you like what I say. They agree with me. I learn from you as well. I read all your comments, and sometimes I do change my views reading your comments. Thank you for being such a wonderful bunch of viewers. Thank you for joining. See you on the next session on next Saturday. Thank you. Bye bye. See you.